Hello, this is Quincy Coleman from the Black Pride Movement, here with the long-awaited economic plan. My economic plan is for Detroit and the greater Detroit area, but when this economic plan succeeds, you can take the plan and apply it to your community all over the country and all over the world, hopefully. I spent a lot of time working on this plan, and it still has probably a lot of revisions to go through when I present it to people, But this is the plan in its rawest form. It's been touched up a little, but I want to share it with you guys so we can get the ball rolling. Within the next 2 weeks after you're hearing this, the plan will be typed up and mailed to various businesses to see if we can initiate the plan. But this is the plan. I want to start before I read it with a small verse from Naeem Akbar's message to the Visions for the Black Man. I apologize. You must have journals that will publish things from an Afrocentric perspective, because European journals never will. Until you have institutions where you can get postdoctoral and doctoral degrees saying that the African perspective on human personality is correct, the African perspective on economic development is correct, the African perspective on social development is correct, and until you have institutions that stand behind that, nobody is going to respect us. People laugh at us. I think this is a very important verse because what it's saying is we have no backing as African Americans who like to do things from an Afrocentric perspective, or if you're a Moor, or if you're an Nate, you really have no backing, because they'll say, okay, I got my degree from Harvard, so I must be correct, but you have no Afrocentric universities. Even our HBCUs, which are great, are not as African-based, African-oriented as they should be to back what we're saying. Because they can back what they're saying because they have degrees, they have newspapers, they have TV stations. So it appears what they're saying is correct because they have control of the media and can get more information to you at a faster pace. But we don't have any of these things. And in order to have things like that, you need an economic base. You need if I want to open a radio station, I need an institution that's going to loan me money. And the European banks or the Chinese banks or the Arab banks aren't going to loan you money to basically get your view across, because your view is going to hurt their view in the long run. So we need our own organizations that can loan our people money to get these institutions funded. And it all starts with economics. So my economic plan is going to be used as a springboard to pump some money into various causes all over the country and the world to help our people. I'm going to start reading in a brief second. Here we go. The plan is a 5-part plan, each with a 5-part, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, each with 3 to 4 steps. So part 1, step 1, ask yourself, are you happy with the state of your race and yourself economically? So you're asking yourself, are you happy with the things that are going on around you? Part 1, step 2. Look up the history of black communities like Black Bottom in Detroit and Black Wall Street in Oklahoma, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Step 3. Understand the system, the statistics, the situation economically, and what all the statistics mean. Step 4. Stay conscious. Watch one video a week of a Pan-Africanist like Dr. Claude Anderson or Umar Johnson or a Malcolm X speech or Martin Luther King speech. Just stay conscious. Stay conscious. Keep aware. Part 1 is called understanding and knowledge. First, you got to ask yourself, are you happy? Then look up the history, understand the history, and then keep updated on the history. That's part 1. Everybody, not just the business owners, will participate in part 1. Everybody will participate in part 1. Part 2 is called Individual and Black Economics. This part has 4 steps. I want every person of African descent to identify 5 black-owned businesses, know where they are, and find the ones that are close to you that you can get to on a daily basis, preferably. Step 2. I want you to purchase services or items from at least one of those businesses at least once a week from any of those 5 that you choose, and go more than once a week if you can. Get everything from them if you can, but at least once a week you should be buying goods or services from one of those 5 businesses. Try to alternate and try to purchase more if you can. Step 3. Spread the good word. This is very important because word of mouth is how businesses get going. Spread the word and let people know about the plan and what you're doing about the 5. Locate the 5. Spread the word. Refer others to the businesses and make sure that it's known to those who surround you that you're participating in this plan, that you found the black businesses, and that they should support them at least once a week. That's nothing to ask. More than that if you can. Step 4 is just Step 4 of part 2 is just reiterating what I'm saying. Every week, something little without fail. Every week, make sure you're in there to support that businesses. Even if you have to make up something that you need to support that business. Make sure without fail, every week you're in there purchasing goods or services from that particular business of your choice, and try to alternate between the 5 businesses. Part 3 is more on my end. Part 3, step 1. Part 3 is networking. Part 1. I will call all the black business owners together for a networking meeting. After I mail out the letters, about a month after, they get to reading them and everything's fine, and they read over them and decided they want to be a part of it. Even if they don't, I'm going to call a meeting at a hall, and we're all going to get together, hopefully hundreds of us, and network. They can exchange numbers, figure out little plans of their own, and network. That's what they're going to do. Part 2. Once they got done networking, the meeting settles down, I'm going to do a presentation. I'll present my plan. The plan is to buy up property and consolidate all the businesses into one area of the city. Those who will be willing to relocate must do so in a designated zone. Those who cannot will be asked for donations and support. The specific details of the plan to actually move and consolidate the businesses will be discussed with the business owners at the meeting at the later date, because we don't want to put our plans on the internet for everybody to see. Part 3, step 3. Once we have people who are willing to make the move, we will discuss areas in the city to move into. I already have some in mind. We will find one with enough property and space to support all who are moving. Because you have a car shop, we can't move you into a storefront. We got to find enough space and properties that fit all the individual businesses. We'll make sure the prices are right, and then we'll make the move. Part 4, step 1. Once we make the move, we need people to recognize the district. We just can't make the move and be like, what is this? Well, it's nothing. We need people to recognize it. So once the move is made, we will advertise for the area, building up publicity and encouraging peoples of all races to come into the black business district and shop with us. There will also be a section in the district known as Little Africa, where in particular we will focus on cultural awareness and cultural pride. For example, the black business district just isn't going to be an Afrocentric district. This is going to be a place for all black-owned businesses. But it makes no sense if we just get a bunch of bookstores and gathering halls so we can all just meet and say, oh yeah, this is what we should do. We need actual businesses, because there's nothing wrong if the person of European descent or Indian wants to come shop at our bank or bank with us, or shop at our liquor store, or get their car fixed at our shop. But in particular, we're going to have an area of the black business district called Little Africa, where our kids and our youth can learn and focus on Afrocentric studies. But that's not going to be it all. It's going to be a full functioning district, with car shops, banks, movie theaters, everything you can think of, restaurants, everything you can think of. Part 4, step 2. Once a flourishing district is established, we will use the influence and resources to petition the city government to officially designate the area as the Black Business District. Each business in the district will put aside a certain amount a month and pool it into a district fund. Part 4, Step 3. Once the district is established, we will build outward from the district using the funds raised to support other black causes. Now, this is very important. Once we get the Black Business District established, we need to be recognized by the city. You know, if you ever drive through Palmer Woods, Sherwood Forest, Rosedale Park, Indian Village, they have signs. That is a recognized district. You know what I'm saying? That is the district. The city puts the signs up. So we're going to have signs put up. This is the Black Business District. We want the city to recognize us, because if we don't get recognition from the city, really what we're doing is, I want the city to recognize this, to make this official. The fund that each business will be putting aside will be pooled and used to further other black causes. We just talked about, if somebody wants to open up an Afrocentric school, we might have $50,000 in the fund and say, here you go. We've pooled our money from the district. The district is going to be self-sustaining and able to raise capital to help other black causes all around the world and the country. So, example, if a black candidate for Congress wants to run for Congress, he can say, I need money to run. We'll say, okay, you've been supportive and you seem like a good candidate. Here's $50,000. Take it and run. So we can support other black causes all throughout. And it will also be used to provide security for the district. I'm going to try to get the Nation of Islam, Black Panther Party, and the FOI to, see if we can get some, because we're going to need security for the district. We don't want people coming to burn it. We want to need security. So that fund is also going to be used for security for the district. And I'll get more into that in the letters and at the meetings. Everybody will get a hard copy of this. And when they come to the meeting and we establish what's going on, we'll talk more about that. Part 5, other causes. Now this is really the most important part, because the district is not going to be used to make the business owners money. Of course, it will flourish because everybody will be coming to shop and businesses will grow. Everybody's business will grow. But the biggest part of it is raising that capital, pooling that money for other causes. Part 5, Step 1. Once the district is established, up and running, we can begin fundraising for various other causes. We can begin setting money aside for think tanks, friendly politicians, and other black causes. And people who are friendly to the district. So like I said, I explained it earlier. If somebody wants to run, we'll give them, stuff like that. The district will be the base that blacks all over the state can build from. If you need money for your school, or the African American History Museum about to close, we can loan you money. It will be the base that blacks can build from and take example from everywhere, and be used to support black interest around the globe. Now, there is a part 6, and I don't have it written down because it's in my head. I didn't want to know if I wanted to include that, but I'm going to share it with you guys. This plan, if done right, will take a year. 1 year, and this thing should be up and running, fully functional. Part 6. Once that year and a half is up, we're going to need the district to elect a leader. It could be me, it could be any of the business owners, it could be a politician. And we're going to need to infuse that politician, that leader, or with large sums of cash, that one man with very large sums of capital. The reason for this is people like Dan Gilbert, Illich, McNamara, Matty Maroon, these white billionaires are buying up land with their their companies, just buying up land. And no single person has enough money to counteract them. So Gilbert gets free to buy up there's no force to challenge him. We can elevate one person from the district to challenge some of these white. So if Gilbert wants to buy the state fairgrounds, whatever he wants to buy, we can put in our bid and say, no, this is our city. we're going to buy that, and we're going to do something for that. The reason I don't want the district itself to do it is because it gets very messy when you have a lot of hands in the pot. I hate to say that, but that's why in times of war, the president is free to act without Congress, and he has to report to Congress later. He can send troops and fire nuclear weapons because he has to be able to act with a snapshot and not have to call up on the committee to make a decision. So if we got a black business district that's buying, we might have to, and Gilbert's doing it, making his move, we might have to sit down in a meeting. We're going to do what we're going to do, what we're going to do. We don't have time for that. We need one individual who is loyal to the cause to be able to make a snap decision to put in a rival bid against his bid. And that's going to be the very hard part. I'm sure this will go easy. But infusing that individual with very large sums of cash, making him a millionaire overnight. Each company, if companies are doing well, give him $1,000 a week. Just making him maybe more, making him a millionaire and able to counteract some of these injustices. Because that's what makes them. Matty Maroon doesn't have to ask it. He has enough money personally to say, I want to do this. Do it. It's mine. And the problem with black folks, unfortunately, is we are very jealous people. We're a very jealous, self-centered, crab in a barrel type people. So we infight amongst each other. We need one individual, almost a figurehead, to take up arms against some of these robber barons, I like to call them. They're not really robber barons, but robber barons. These people who come in with billions of dollars and say, I want that, that, and that, and nobody has enough money to stop me. We need a black one of those. We need one of those that can buy up stuff for our interest. So that's just part 6. I have a lot of problems with that, I know. Everybody's probably thinking, but these are the 5 parts that are going to be implemented. If you want a copy of it, write your address under the video, and I'll mail you a copy. These are going to be given to all the black business owners and will be passed out. If you have any questions or you have any comments or commentary to maybe help the plan, make it better, or I found a problem with this. I think this can be done a little better. I'm open to advice because I'm not perfect. I'm not a business. I am not perfect. I'm just trying to present a plan so that our people can move forward because somebody's got to do this, I'm not perfect and I'm willing to accept help. I need help from you guys. So please leave commentary. Tell me what you thought. And this plan will be typed up and mailed out within the next 2 weeks. Women from the Black Pride Movement and one more thing. Part 1 of the plan is now put into initiation as soon as you see it. As soon as you see it, part 1, initiate part 1. Wherever you are, doesn't matter. Initiate part 1. This part lasts about 3 months. So as soon as you see it, initiate. Part 1 is already in place. Part 1. 1 to 3 months. So part 1, initiate. The other parts are not. You don't have to initiate any other parts yet. Part 1, I'll let you know when the plan is actually going to be put in action. Part 2 is going to be initiated. I'll put a post up. So part 1, initiate part 1. Quincy Coleman from the Black Pride Movement. Thank you.